Hello. My name is Edson Robinson.
Come on.
Producer and director of this excellent documentary entitled Nuts and Bolts.
Come on. Bring
Nuts and Bolts.
Bring it.
The Mechanics of Men.
Mechanics of
Yeah,
Men.
Mechanics of Men.
Nuts and bolts.
Today, guys, we want to talk about marriage and divorce. I think it's a very pressing issue, especially in our own community. So what I want you to do is kind of give me the feeling, how you feel about marriage, what's going on with marriage. We're going to start with my friend Sam. I think you've been married for about 30 years. Is that right, Sam?
Yeah, I've been married for 32 years.
Wow. Wow. So what's the good thing, the bad thing? Why did you get married in the first place?
Well, I've always wanted to be married. My mom and my dad, my mom was married twice. And, just my views of it, like coming into like an adult or a young man, I just always liked the idea of being married.
Adonis, you ever been married?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am, but I'm headed to divorce, or almost done with divorce right now.
Why?
Well, I mean, I think when I got married, I really wasn't ready to get married. I'm a single parent, single dad, and I was raising 4 kids at the time. And when I met my wife, she was a real good woman. I had a lot of females at the time, and I decided, you know what, it's
4
time
kids?
to slow. Yeah, yeah. I have 5 now because we have one together.
Well, like you, brother, you move on now.
But anyway, it was like I decided it was time for me to, while I have an opportunity to choose who I want to be with somebody. So I settled down with her, not thinking we were going to get married. But then I moved out of my house into her house, and then she said, "I don't believe in living together unless we're married." And I was like, man, and I had my kids, and I'm like, I ain't got nowhere to go. So I was like, I thought about it, and I was like. And then Christmas, I proposed to her. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really think I was ready for marriage. But I did give my all into marriage. But she also had 4 children. So I had 4, she had 4. And I couldn't really judge her by having 4 because I had 4 myself.
Let me jump over to my friend Lovett here. Well, have you ever been married?
I have been married 2 times and divorced twice.
Wow. You married now?
No, I'm not. I'm a single man.
Okay. Why? Let me ask you. Let me put it this way: why the first one, and why did you go to the second one?
I was young. It was a service thing. I was in the service, 19 years old, had run into something that I thought was forever, and it wasn't like that. And we moved north after I got out of the service, but her mind was in the south, so that it just didn't make it.
Gotcha. Let me interrupt you for a quick second. Go ahead. You about to say something?
No, I was just asking where was he? Her mind was it in the south?
No, her mind wasn't in the
north.
Where she was in Boston.
Can I throw something out here? Then I'm gonna go over and talk to her. Let me throw something out. You've been divorced. You've never been divorced, correct? You've been divorced. Let me ask you a question. How much effect was the woman in the divorce? What do you think? What did you think she had to do with the divorce? Because a lot of times we feel like the man does something crazy and the woman says, "Okay, I need somebody else." So how do you think? What did with you?
Well, in my situation, it was about the children. Like I said, we had a big family, and communication was a problem. My wife wasn't good at communication, and I felt like I was raised by my mom, and she taught me to love my children like a parent, period. So I felt like my kids' mother, because I was raising my kids. I'm their mother and their father.
Right.
And I didn't feel like the love was going through all the children the way it should. And I tried hard to to tell my wife we need to love all these children as our own, but it wasn't working like that. So I even went as far as to purposely have a child so that she could see one child together. We love this child the same way we love all our children.
Right.
But that wasn't right. It didn't work out that way. So I thought, for the better, I don't want to be in this marriage for years, and then later on my kids are grown and be like, I don't know why Dad let this happen, Dad let that happen. So I said, let me just stop it now for my children's sake.
So you made the decision to get out.
Well, I mean, it was a kind of a mutual thing with my wife and I, and we're good friends to this day.
Right.
Because I don't believe in leaving anything in bad shape. So we're good friends to this day.
Mitch, 30 years, right?
30 years to the same woman.
Okay,
yeah.
just checking. We got to keep this thing balanced. I want to make sure you.
Yeah, but
right, I know. Yeah.
Well, I'm sort of surprised to hear about what my brother Adonis said, and what Sam said, and of course what Lovett said. I'm from a small town in South Georgia.
Right.
I had 8 brothers and sisters. and plus my father and my mother, brothers and sisters lived there too. So we're from a community with a lot of people. My father had 6 sisters in that town, plus they had uncles and aunts there, and all these people were married. So I knew that I wanted to be married one day, and so I came to college with a game plan to get educated, find a woman that halfway like me, that have children, and probably stay married. And so I figured when you come to go to college, you're there for 4 years and you never be around that many women again in your lifetime. You can find one woman that halfway liked you, and you probably can get along with them. So the first thing I did when I met my wife, I met her in 1973.
Wow.
I was sure that I was able to get along with her, not necessarily love her, but get along with her, somebody that I like being around. And if you can couch that to determine a person you want to be around, you like being around, then marriage may be the next step. So I had a game plan.
Right.
Like my brother, he said he had a game plan. But unlike my brother and my wife and I knew her 4 years while we were in college, where neither one of us had anything.
Right.
And then when we decided to get married, I got married young.
Right.
And I was 20 when I got married. Still didn't have anything, didn't have a job, she didn't have a job, and so we both sort of knew each other. And after that, when we got married, we didn't have any children until 5 years after the marriage, and we wouldn't have had children then if it hadn't been for my Uncle Jimmy.
I think there's another question.
Yeah, I just had a comment. First of all, understanding that if you're going to get married, I think the glue in it is your relationship with God, basically, in my opinion. So I feel that if you're looking at a marital situation, you first have to establish and mentor your relationship with God and see if that's going to be strong first. And then if you choose to deal with that, then you can make your relationship stronger because of the foundation that you established.
I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. Because how do you explain how the Aborigines, the people in the jungles who never knew God, never knew Christianity,
Right.
how do they stay together?
That's what I was thinking.
These people make commitment to each other, lifelong commitments. It's not about religion. It's very, I think it's probably more political than anything else, and probably out of convenience.
Right.
Where two people decide among themselves to make a commitment to each other.
I've been in ministries for 20 years. I've preached in every place you can possibly think of in the country. The thing that I do realize is, yes, I believe that there's a spiritual foundation, but I don't believe that the spiritual foundation should be the catalyst for marriage. I think sometimes, even in our community, when it comes to marriage, we make it too spiritual. I should know you. I should know you in the bad. I should know you in the good. I should know you whether you love God, whether you don't love God.
That is spiritual.
Well, true, but it's not the spiritual that you're saying they're not their knowledge with God. They may not even care anything about it. They may never go to church ever in life. But the point is, if I'm committed to you, whether you love God or don't love God, if I'm committed to you and you're an atheist, we can stay married forever and a day. I believe that there should be a spiritual foundation, yes, but not a spiritual foundation that has to say religious or not religious, because I believe we're all spiritual.
I wanted to piggyback on what the brother said here. In a lot of cases, and what you said, we're too religious in a lot of cases to even get married. Because at the end of the day, if I know Genesis and you ain't read it, or if I know Revelations and you still in 1 Timothy, does that make her better or lesser? My thing is this: we need to get the families together.
All right.
Bring the families together, like in Africa. And Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, they spend a month